Christmas and happy Vlogmas. It's early, oh my god. It is 7 a.m. I got up at 5:30. We're on the road. Sorry about that light back there. The sun is rising. But I think that's just a semi. We got up super early because one of Robert's Christmas traditions and now our Christmas traditions is going to G&W Meat Market. It is a German meat market. It's not really a market, it's a store. I guess that is a market. Anyway, Robert used to go as a kid with his dad, and he only went in December, right? You didn't really go?
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they only go in December. And they have like just bratwurst. Go ahead, Robert.
They make all their own sausages.
They make all their own sausages.
Lunch meats. They make
lunch meats, liverwurst. What's those beef sticks you get? Blonjager. Anyway, it's a really cool family-owned meat market, and they get packed. They get really packed. So that's why we were trying to be there at opening at 7. We're not there at 7, but it's a very small store. It can only fit like 20 people, and it's just a meat counter and one wall of like condiments, and then a meat counter. And every time we go, it's packed. So, and with it being only like 5 days till Christmas, I'm sure it's going to be really packed. So we're going to go to get our yearly bratwurst and everything Robert likes, and then a couple gift baskets to give as Christmas presents to a couple family members. So I'm just tired. I'm not used to getting up this early. I should be sleeping right now. Are you tired, Robert?
Very tired.
He's very tired. This is dedication. Dedication.
This place is, my dad would, every year we do this. And
Get up super early?
For the most part, yeah. He'd get up there early. And his big thing was he liked it because he talked to the guys.
Yeah.
And then they give you free beers.
Yes.
That's the only place I've ever known in my life that you go in and they ask you if you want a beer.
Yeah.
So they don't, you know, it's not.
They still do that. They have.
You're not being charged.
Even at 7 a.m., they'll give you a beer.
It's like, wow, that's crazy.
We don't partake of the beer, but.
But it's a big supplier of bratwurst to our local sports teams.
Does it supply to the Cardinals?
Yeah, Cardinals, Blues.
All of them. It's cool.
We had a football team.
Yeah, I forgot. We did have a football team.
Yeah.
Now we have football again. We have, what's the football we have again?
We have the Battlehawks.
The Battlehawks. But what is it? We have an what's it called? XL team? No, that's not right. XFL. We have an XFL team that's taking over the Rams' old stadium. Apparently you're supposed to say caca every time you say.
That's the radio station people do. So
they're trying to really get people
I'm sort of
excited.
About it. I don't know.
So,
it's kind of neat.
we've actually listened to several interviews by the players, and they sound pretty cool. So I don't know.
They do.
I don't really like football. I might go to a couple of those games. I don't know. But anyway, we're on the way to G&W. I'll try to do some footage in there. I don't know, because it's so small and it might be packed, but you might just see a bunch of backs of people, but I will do my best. Alright, so this G&W is like located near the hill in basically downtown St. Louis.
A little scary looking. A little intimidating if you're actually coming here.
Yeah.
Right.
Watch the ice.
Watch the ice. You can be the first one to go in.
As I opened the wrong side of the door. Oh my God, it smells good.
Hello.
Hi.
I mean,
You what?
You see tyroler?
see me in that kitchen
What's that one?
It's their engine.
Ask them.
Oh yeah, they got it right here.
Yeah, I also want to get one of the this one right here. Thank you.
You can grab it?
No, I couldn't grab it. Thank you. Did you get the bratwurst?
Yeah. For you. A pound of the tyroler. Longgator looks pretty good.
That's Robert's favorite.
Yeah, really good. They make a pretty mean hot dog too. Theirs has the casing on it and stuff. It's really good.
And this is the first time
Meats
we've
are
ever
really good.
been here.
The
when
meats
I've
are
been
good.
here. Oh, look at that. What is that? Alright. I want to get these for the girls. Those are adorable.
What we learned in this cold weather, make sure your battery is good.
Adorable.
Right?
This used to be where the bread was. You have bread stacked.
Oh, they don't have bread anymore. They just have dog bones.
It was like a pumpernickel rye.
Yeah, it looks like all they have is this right here.
Yeah, that's different. It was really good though.
Sure. They have these at World Market. And go one for me. I came here. Excuse me.
Don't drink beer.
Oh. Sure. That's cool.
Yeah, but you get your choices.
Alright, I had to stop recording in there because their radio was blaring, but that's G&W. It's just in an odd location between all these car dealerships. Off of, this is Kings Highway, right?
Yeah.
Off of Kings Highway past the hill.
It's been there a long
It's been there
time.
since Robert was a kid, and
Yeah.
we won't say how old we are, but we're old.
Well, let's just say it's over 40 years old.
Over 40 years old.
And it's been going for a long, long time.
Is that bus stuck ahead? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, that car over there is kind of in his way. Now what's funny is my dad would say he had to go up north so that he could take longer to go to the shop. My mom had never been here before. So my dad would say, "Oh, it's up north," and so that she would think it's further away so he could spend more time talking to the guys and drinking while he was there.
Oh, that's funny.
It's horrible. Talk about deceit.
Yeah, well.
It's terrible. Anyway, he didn't want me telling her one way or another. I never said a word. You know what I mean? It was just one of those deals. It was like
Robert's mom did not drive. So
she did not drive.
She wasn't that familiar with
And she didn't want to come down here just because she felt like it was, more of my dad's thing. And
yeah.
And that was fine. That's fine.
So if you haven't been watching us forever, Robert's dad worked at Anheuser-Busch for the longest time. Anheuser-Busch was one of the major companies here in St. Louis. They're still here.
Huge employer.
Huge employer. They're still here, but
Yep.
they got bought out by a foreign company, and they moved a lot of their offices to elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's still the plant still runs here, but it doesn't employ as many people like it used to back in the day. But his father worked there forever, back in the day when they got tons of free beer and would hang out. And
yeah, see, they did things a little differently back then. It was just a different place. And
yeah,
you know, you just, when you worked in the different departments, nobody really monitored any of that stuff.
they treated their employees extremely well.
Yeah, the employees, I mean, they were phenomenal. The office people had it harder than the people in the factory. The people in the factory made a really good amount of money, and they were union. They were union employees. But, you know, they got paid well for what they did. And, you know, I don't know how it is anymore. From my understanding, they can still get paid well, but there's just a lot less jobs.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because I would go with my dad down. He would take me inside the plant at times, and it was just neat. It was neat as a kid seeing that place. You'd see stuff that nobody else sees. It was just amazing, and I can't believe it. My dad, for his whole life, worked in this cold part of the whole thing, and it was very cold. And they had a little shack where like only 2 or 3 guys could fit inside this little shack, but they were important part of the whole process, and they would go out and work on lines and do all kinds of different stuff. So it was neat. It was a very neat thing when you're a kid to see that.
So yeah, that's the first time we've been to G&W, and there was no one but the employees there. It could be because it's during the week. It could be because everyone else has 9-to-5 jobs. We usually go on Saturdays, isn't it?
Yeah, but what day is Christmas Eve this year?
I think it's Wednesday.
Well, then Tuesday.
Or is it Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday. Then it'll be Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be crazy days.
I heard the lady talking on the phone.
Because they're not open on Monday. I know that.
Okay. Then Tuesday they're open at 5 a.m. instead of 7.
That would be why.
So,
that place is going to be a madhouse. You're not going to be able to. I'm glad it wasn't like that, but
we've been when it's a madhouse.
It's a madhouse.
You have to take numbers. You have to
Yeah.
You get your food, but then you have to wait forever to pay because they only have one little card machine. Oh yeah, they're super nice.
You know what I mean?
I don't know if you heard. As soon as we came in, he's like, "Do you need a beer?"
Yeah, exactly. That's the first thing you get asked.
It was cool.
And I like, I like it. I don't want one, but it's nice to be asked.
Sure.
It's too early for me.
I think that's down there. Is that the botanical? No, we have.
Yeah, Botanical Garden is to the right.
Botanical Garden is to the right.
Right now we're going over an area called the Hill, and that's the Italian part of St. Louis. It's where all the Italian restaurants and grocery markets are. It's to the left, though. To the right is Shaw's Garden.
No, St. Louis. There's the Arch.
It used to be called Shaw's Garden, but I guess it's Botanical Garden.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see the Arch right
So yeah,
there.
that's the Italian neighborhoods over there. To the left.
To the left is the Italian.
To the left is the Italian restaurant. There's a lot of Italian restaurants.
So when you would go to the Hill,
markets.
okay, so after G&W, he would go to the Hill with his dad. Like,
yes.
You would go to an Italian market? You'd go somewhere for breakfast?
Yeah, there was an Italian market we would go to. It's just the parking down there. I mean, show down that street. That's
it's all street parking.
It's all street parking, and it's a pain in the butt. And I just don't like doing it. I would love to go to the markets and stuff, but every time I go, I can never find a parking spot.
Sure.
So I just gave up on it. I'm like, that wasn't as important to me as the meat market. Because my dad would get a whole bunch of different kinds of stuff, and then like different lunch meats and stuff, and that would be part of our Christmas Eve dinner. Because he'd get, we had hot food and cold food.
Sure.
It was all kind of a special deal. It really was.
Oh, there goes one of the gift baskets.
Yeah, that takes care of that.
So we ended up spending $120, most on gift baskets, but we did get some.
Yeah, I don't know where all that money. I don't know what all that money went into, honestly, because
$75 worth of gift baskets.
I think it's
so that's $45 worth of meat for us for the next
Lanyegger's like 15 or 20
week or two.
So those baskets must have been expensive.
Yeah, one was $50, one was $24.99.
So $75. All right, that would make sense then. So I was gonna say it's never more than like $50 for the stuff that I.
So you got
And my dad didn't like smoke liverwurst. He couldn't stand it, but my mom did, and he'd get it for us. So that's all.
That's all. All right. I think we're good. So that's just basically childhood memories and that's it for this video. I think I need a couple more Christmas ones, so we're gonna go ahead and do Anheuser-Busch Friday night. They have Christmas lights. We've done it one other time, and it was super cool, so I hope it's still just as nice, and we'll do that tomorrow night.
I want to add also that,
yes.
like, my dad died in 1991, so after 1991, we still tried to hold the traditions. We still tried to do the traditions.
Sure.
So, most of the time, it was me and one of my brothers. We would do that morning run on like Christmas Eve. Day before Christmas Eve or Christmas Eve, we would actually go.
So you would be part of the craziness?
Yeah, we would. Because that's kind of when my dad did it, but, you know, we're a little early this year, which I'm fine with because I don't really want to deal with it.
Yeah, I know. I just...
But we would...
I've been with you when it's crowded. I'm like, listen, let's go early.
Me and one of my brothers would do it, and we would pick up the stuff my mom needed because my mom would have Christmas Eve. And then we stopped doing it then because my mom couldn't do the holidays anymore because she just wasn't able to.
Right.
That's all. I'm done.
Well, I'm glad we're still carrying on the tradition.
Yeah.
And I look forward to bratwurst. I love bratwurst. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons, and we will see you later.